In 2023, I accompanied World War II veteran Bud Gahs to the commemoration of the liberation of Dachau concentration camp, where Bud was an honored guest. On our first day, we headed out bright and early.
First time in my life I ever had anybody take pictures of me putting shoes on.
You're a real movie star now.
Yeah. Okay.
At breakfast, Bud met the only other liberator present at this commemoration.
I'm the last guy in my company.
I am too.
I spotted a historic opportunity and arranged an interview for the following day. At 9 a.m. sharp on April 29th, exactly 78 years after the day of liberation, a rainbow and a Thunderbird met for an informal and impromptu interview. They told me about the day when Dachau and its prisoners were waiting for them.
I'm Dan Park Dougherty, and I was in the 2nd Platoon of C Company, 157th Infantry Regiment, 45th Division.
I'm Bud Gahs. I was in an anti-tank company, 222nd Infantry Regiment, the 42nd Rainbow Division. That's what got me here.
Did either of you have any idea that Dachau existed or was a concentration camp before you reached the camp?
The evening of the 28th would have been 78 years last night. We slept in the woods, which was very unusual for us by that time. We were almost demanding that we get to sleep in homes. And we assembled in the morning to get our rations. And our lieutenant said, "Guys, gather around, I have to give you special orders." Nothing like that had ever happened before. And he alerted us to the fact that the division was in the vicinity of a concentration camp. He told us that in the interest of the war crimes trials that were going to follow the war, it was very important that all witnesses be kept alive.
And Bud, what about you?
I'm just following the truck in front of me, like I did all the time. And some word was about a concentration camp, but I, like Dan, it didn't register too much. And we ended up right in front of the front gate. And we just stayed there. Then we were told after a couple of hours to go search the woods. We were searching the woods for escaped guards, supposedly with inmates' garb on. And that was a scheme they thought they'd use to get out of there. And while we were walking through, one just came out of nowhere. It was a lot of brush. And he ran toward me, and I'm ready to shoot him. I didn't know what was going on until I saw his stripes, and he came over to me and hugged me up, and with his dirty, greasy, buggy convict garb on, his shirt and pants. And then he went down on the ground, and he kneeled down and kissed my feet, my boots, and that was very moving. All of a sudden, I got the real feel of everything in the camp, which was horrible. Didn't have these shoes on, of course.
You had combat boots, right?
Yeah.
Well, when we were approaching Dachau, the common experience that day for troops of the 42nd and the 45th was coming upon there was a railroad track immediately on our left as we were walking in. And we get up and discover this is a long train of boxcars. And we get up there to make the horrifying discovery that the cars contain totally emaciated human corpses. it just absolutely blew. They were nothing but skin and bones, still in the remnants of their striped uniform. Turned out there were 39 boxcars with 2,310 corpses. That's about 60 bodies per car. It just blew the soldiers away. I spent my entire time around the coal yard. There are famous photos now of I Company shooting the guards in the coal yard. And strewn around the ground of the coal yard are the corpses of the guards that we assumed were I Company's handiwork.
You as individuals arrived around the same time in the afternoon.
Yeah.
You saw what you saw, you did what you did.
Yeah.
The men in your divisions all
Mm-hmm.
saw what they saw and did what they did. What do you have to say to anyone who might think that there's an argument?
Would be childish to argue about something like that. I always thought, right from the beginning, you know, who wants to be first on something like this? But there seemed to be controversy. So, anyway.
Yeah, and I never spent any time wasting about it. I never remember seeing anybody from the 42nd Division. I never saw anybody from I Company. I never remember seeing anybody else from C Company when I was there. We spent the whole time in one little location. I was kind of maintaining a command post, and our men were out looking for guards that we didn't find. Very few.
And I'm sitting out in front of the front gate, waiting to move on. So.
Thank you for everything that the two of you contributed to the freedom of the inmates at Dachau and our freedom. All of us sitting here today owe you a debt of gratitude. So thank you very much.
You're welcome.
And so it was that a rainbow and a Thunderbird came together nearly 8 decades after their individual destinies intersected, separated, then brought them back together at this horrible and hallowed ground.
Bellissimo, bellissimo.
There are no words for the magnitude of witnessing the 18 survivors who made the journey and the sheer power of beholding their gratitude to their liberators.
He never had the chance to say thank you for saving his life because he was treated for 3 months after your army found him in the dirt. They thought he was dead.
The lives of these 2 men have been well lived, and the smiles on their faces and the faces of their families are a pure testimony to that fact. The expressions on the faces of the prisoners they liberated all those years ago are the greatest testimony of all.